Today I got something from NAMM 2023 that's finally in the shop. This is the new and improved Martin Authentic D-18 1937 VTS, aged, got all the good stuff. I'm going to tell you all about it. Stick around. How's it going, y'all? This is Cooper Greenberg here at Alamo Music Center in San Antonio, Texas. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. It helps us out. Like the videos, share them with your friends. All of that helps us reach more guitar fans. We really appreciate when you do it. But let's jump in. I got something from NAMM, and people used to say NAMM means not available, maybe May. You know, it's been weird because we've been going in April. It's not the normal January show. I think it's going to get back to normal. But even then, now it's not available, maybe September, October, November, December next year. Who knows? This is one that kind of got announced, and we heard about it from our rep, and we were told you can probably get one by the end of the year. Same thing with the D28 version. So I'm happy this one showed up. We have shown off some of the Authentics in the past. We had the 1939, we had the D28, D18, but I always like kind of when the old school stuff has a new version or something interesting going on. So we got the 37, and I'm not sure how many of these are out in the wild, but I'm pretty sure that there's not too many of them. So hopefully, if you've been looking for some info on it, you can trust what I'm about to tell you, because it's very, very cool. I really like the Authentics. Chris did as well, and it was kind of one of those things where they've been out for a while. We finally took the dive and got into them, and we were very, very impressed. This is pretty much as old school as something in the standard production of Martin's line really gets. Yes, this is not a standard series, this is an Authentic series, but I'm talking about something that goes through the normal factory. This is a production line, and I know that they are not made in very high quantities, but they are made in very high qualities, if you catch my drift. This is the D18, so obviously we got the hog, but everything else that's going on with this is really kind of supposed to capture the spirit of a true 1937. This is Adirondack spruce top. It's Adirondack bracing. The neck is a big boy, so I hope I didn't lose you there, because I'm a big fan of thick necks. I want my guitar built like a linebacker, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, this one's got a very thick neck. It feels good. It's authentic to what would be on a Martin D18 in 1937. There's a couple things that are part of this guitar that would not have been around in 1937. One of those is the fact that it is VTS, so it's their vintage tone system. This is a heat-treated top, and the bracing is also VTS. So you've got Addy on the top and Addy on the bracing, both VTS treated, which is cool. It gets you a little closer to an old school sound without having to wait for, I mean, close to 90 years, so whatever. You feel me. 37, a real one would have a lot of time to open up, would change a lot tonally, so the VTS kind of gets you part of the way there. I think, you know, we've seen VTS on Modern Deluxes, on some of the customs and all that. I think it's a cool thing. Some people like it, some people don't, but just so you know, this is the VTS model, and this is the aged model. And so you can tell it's definitely got the vintage toner, but even kind of on my angle, you might not be able to see it that well through the camera. There is some checking on the top, on the nitro finish. There's a little bit of kind of rash here and there, but it's very tastefully done. This is by no means a super heavy relic double Esquire that I also have in the store right now that is crazy, crazy relic. This is very tastefully done. So you get a little bit of the buckle rash, a little bit of something here and there, but really it's the checking, it's the kind of old school smoothed out from the gloss vibe. The finish on here, they call it vintage gloss. It's kind of what Chris and I talk a lot about being one of our favorites, not quite satin, not quite gloss. It feels really, really nice on the neck, and it's kind of, if you look at a spectrum and satin is your open pore, almost feels like raw wood, and gloss is your candy-coated nitro or poly. Obviously, we're talking nitro with Martin. This is definitely more on the gloss side, but I mean, very, very smooth, super knocked down. Neck feels, if you're an electric player, It feels a little more akin to like the supernatural satin on the like the Fender American Pro 2s. It's really, really smooth. It's not going to have the sound or the kind of the rub of the satin. It's also not going to be sticky like a gloss. Feels really, really good. It's got open geared Waverleys that are kind of patinaed a little bit. Bone nut and saddle are both kind of patinaed a little bit. The saddle on here is a glue-in long saddle. So on our HD Wild Grain Customs that we've shown you on here, we talked a little bit about long saddle, more contact, less vibration and resonance loss. And this is the true old school style with it being glued in. It can still be worked on by a technician. Some of the stuff on these guitars definitely turn away the person that gets out the Allen wrench or gets out the files to do their own work with the lack of a truss rod, adjustable truss rod in this guitar, and the glue-in saddle. I think some people are like, I can't make adjustments. These are built very, very robustly and also very, very well. You can always make adjustments, but this is the type of guitar you would hope to expect from the factory. It comes playing perfect and also stays where it's supposed to be when you take care of it. And I think, this kind of represents the pinnacle of Martin's high quality construction. They are not going to make a guitar and put it out into the world just because it's old school that is going to cause you any issues. Binding on this is tortoise shell. It's very, very subtle, and it looks like black when you glance at it, but you can see some of the kind of tortoise flakings. But yeah, so one of the changes with the new 37s is I have been told, and I have read online all over the place, that the shape of the body is more accurate to a 37. So it's not just the same dreadnought cut that you would get on a normal D-18 standard. The body shape, the body profile and everything is to the spec of real 1937 D-18s. It sounds fantastic. Everything in here, looking inside, you can see it's the forward shifted bracing, very cool, very classic. You see the cloth strips in there. It's built to be 1937. It sounds to me like a very played in, warmed up, ready to go guitar. It's everybody overused the word canon, and now I've overused saying everybody says canon. But when it comes down to it, big ol' Martin Dreadnought, I'm talking right now and I can hear echoes and resonance and vibration from the guitar. It is something that you barely touch and it explodes. So I'm going to play some stuff so you can kind of hear, just with open chords, how much this thing rings and how much it, just boasts a very, very resonant, pretty harmonic tone. So yeah, let's get into it. D-18, 1937, authentic, VTS, aged. Take a listen. So there you have it. There's a little bit on the 1937 D-18. Now, a couple things. One thing that I failed to mention before that should come as no surprise is this guitar is built with hide glue construction. So again, something else. Yes, it's available. You can get it in other, more modern guitars, modern deluxes. You can get it in the custom shop, but it kind of comes along with the authentic, construction and everything. It's hide glue. And now a couple things. The neck, I've mentioned before, it's thick. It's a big neck. It is the 1937 neck. A lot of people, that turns them off. We've seen the same thing with, 51 and 52 Telecasters, the big old baseball bat neck. It is something that I would advise you to try out before you just write it off. Now, there's a reason why the modified low oval high performance taper that comes on all the standard series guitars, there's a reason why that has been put on the standard series guitars, because that's the probably, it sounds like a negative connotation when I say lowest common denominator, but truly that's probably the most universally comfortable neck that they've decided to put on all those guitars. When it comes to a thick neck, I think I prefer it a little bit. I'm never gonna shy away from a modified low oval or a Taylor neck or, anything that is more modern, but it feels really ergonomic to me. I don't have the biggest hands in the world. I think I measured them for somebody the other day, and he was saying he had, small hands, and really there wasn't that much difference. They're not huge, they're not tiny. I think it's pretty average hand size, but when it comes down to it, on thicker neck, it just feels a little more comfortable to me, that it's not so small that you're kind of getting lost. Maybe you're over wrapping around, you kind of keep an eye on it. It's hard to describe, but I just think it feels good in my hand. And so I'd advise, if you're into the vibe of this guitar, if you want something truly old school, vintage focused, don't let it be the thing that turns you away. At least get one in your hands and play it, or play something similar. Same thing, like I said, for old school Telecasters. It seems like it's kind of this antiquated thing that nobody wants, but just because the opposite, being a more modern neck, is kind of on everything else, doesn't mean it's necessarily better. It might be the right thing for you, it might not be the right thing for you. So try that out. The other thing that I will say, obviously you can hear, this is as true Martin tone as it gets. Addy top, mahogany back and sides. I love it on a Dreadnought. It's a flat picker's paradise. It is so warm and just really, really pretty. There's one thing that blows my mind about some of these guitars, like the Authentics and some of the custom shops, and I'm gonna try to kind of show it off. It's not mic'd up, but I was kind of messing around and just playing some single notes. Every string on this guitar and the whole body just vibrates so freely. It's really light, very, very light. And so I was just doing a couple notes, and the sustain and kind of the overtones and everything. It's just such a cool experience to play. Like I said, I'm talking, I can hear it echoing me and vibrating just with my my voice. It's a really special thing when you find a guitar that kind of does that just straight out of the case. Tuned up perfectly, action is perfect, setup is perfect, and we're not gonna get too many of them, even though they are around and they're available. They take forever to get here, and I would assume if you're local to us or you're local to any other music store, they're not gonna be super plentiful qualities. We of course have more on order, but if this sounds like the right thing for you and you're able to come into the store and you wanna try it out for yourself, please do. If you are not local to us, but you want to be our friend, we'll send you more videos and pictures and everything, because it's a really special guitar. I think that anybody would really, really love it if it's the right thing for them. It's not gonna be for everybody, but yeah, just sounds fantastic, feels really, really great, and I would not shy away from something that takes as big of a dive into the vintage vibe, because it produces an incredible sound, and it's very fun to play. So that's my thoughts. Usually we take the tags off, but I like that this one is the old school tag that's handwritten and stuff, so this stays with it, and it just adds to the vibe. So if you want more info, you want a deep dive on the specs, our website is alamomusic.com. You can find photos of this exact guitar, because it's the only one we're gonna get, and so there's not any other ones to choose from for right now. But if this one goes and you really, really love it, or you're interested in the D-28, please give us a shout and we'll let you know what the wait times look like, we'll get you in line for one and get one in your hands, because it's something you'll make beautiful music with. And they did a really nice, subtle job with the aging, if that's your thing. So, thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, turn your notifications on, all that good stuff, and we will see you next time.